Hi, I'm Herb Dean, and I'm a professional mixed martial arts referee. I also have a professional mixed martial arts referee school. The first time I refereed a fight was for King of the Cage back in the late 90s. Started off working as an inspector, and one thing led to another. I started refereeing fights, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I've always been involved in martial arts. I've always done fight sports since I was a kid, whether it was karate, kung fu, boxing. I started kickboxing and then training in judo and kickboxing before UFC came around, before MMA. And then one of the guys from my kickboxing gym was involved in UFC 1, and I've continued to be a part of the sport ever since. I run a school called Mixed Martial Arts Referee School. It's where I train referees and judges to officiate the sport. It's a good thing for a lot of reasons. For one, it helps me. It makes me better. Two, it gives me, it's a tool we can use for all the other officials, especially other lead officials, to talk about the mechanics and the rules and the scoring criteria, and make sure that we're all on the same page and make sure there's some consistency in the sport. The other thing is that I like to make sure that we get people involved in the sport who care enough about it, who love it enough to understand the techniques the guys are doing, and can make a professional, expert opinion while evaluating what the performance of the athletes in the ring. Right, that's the reason why it's because it got stopped. If that fight happened and it went to its ending, then even though I committed the foul, I still won the fight. Right. But the reason why the fight got ended was because of that cut, and that cut got started with an illegal technique, okay, and which I did intentionally. So there's no way I could win by my evil tactics. Yeah. The fight with Tim Sylvia and Frank Mir, that was definitely an important fight for me. I made a big decision, and obviously I was up very close, so I knew it was the right decision. I thought that it was probably going to be the last decision I made like that, but it turned out it was. With the slow motion, people realized it was the right thing, and have supported me. I think it's a good thing for me because people appreciate the job I do and trust me when I'm in there that I'm going to make the right decision for the fighter's safety and also to keep the match fair. I don't believe that a referee should score a fight. I believe that the referee should be focused on refereeing and the judges should be focused on judging. Both of those jobs, I think, require all your attention. That judge's job in a very close match, it may come down to one hairbreadth of a difference, one takedown, one jab being the deciding factor in who wins or loses the fight. And when I am focused on making sure these guys don't receive any unnecessary injuries, trying to keep these guys safe and making sure the bout is fair, I know that I'm not able to give my 100% attention to the match that the judges are able to. Changes I would like to see in MMA, if any. Well, there are rules that we're constantly developing and looking at and re-looking at. And that's one of the things that as we're growing, as the sport grows and as the commissions become more comfortable with it, it's always good where once a year we take a look at the rules and say, well, does this one make sense? Is this one going to keep the athletes safe? Do we really need this one? And there's a few things that are continuing to change, and they're continuing to be looked at, and just keep the sport exciting and fun for the fans. I'm very happy that people appreciate the job I do. That I thought that refereeing would be thankless, and that especially if you're doing a good job, no one's going to notice you. If you're doing a bad job, everyone's going to notice you. But it doesn't turn out to be that way. That you in this sport, as an official, you actually get some respect and some acknowledgement for the job we do. People seem to really have an insight into how important it is, and also how difficult mixed martial arts refereeing can be. Amateurs, that's not what we're looking for. We're not going to let a guy take a slow, long beating where he's just getting injuries, and he's not going to make it through the round. He's not going to have any chance of winning the round just so he can make it through. That's something we might do with a pro. We're not going to, if somebody is taking lots of shots, even if there's a tension that could be resolved, we'll stop it if he's taking too many shots. Referees do get evaluated in many different ways after a match. In the amateurs here in Camo, there is an actual scorecard that is filled out, and it's not done after every event, but referees will be evaluated, and an evaluator will be sent out. There will be a scorecard filled out and turned into the sanctioning body. In the professional level, we always do a debrief and a wrap-up at the end of every event. And especially if there's any calls that stand out, you're definitely going to be asked to explain your calls and explain the reason why you made the decisions you did, and it's as it should be. You know, these are very important decisions for these fighters' career, and all the officials, judges, and referees should be held accountable for the decisions we make in there. At this point, I can't really think of any calls that I would make differently, thinking about them after replaying them in my mind. And that's one of the things we always do agonize over. We always, after you make a decision, especially if it's a close one, we're looking at the replay. We're always trying to do the best job we can for these guys. Do I miss fighting mixed martial arts? Definitely. I love mixed martial arts. I love martial arts. That's why I'm refereeing. I love being involved in it. But it's two different things. You know, each fight is, you know, when you're fighting, one thing I love about it is you're living life to the extreme. You're really enjoying life at that moment, and hopefully you can do something beautiful that people are going to remember, something awesome that people are going to remember and go, wow, you know, and put a smile on their faces. And sometimes you put on the tape and get to put a smile on your own face, right? But then also one of the things about it is it makes me a better person. Every fight is such an intense situation that when I come out of a fight, I'm definitely changed, and I'm always changed for the better. You can definitely feel energy in the cage. You can definitely feel the energy that's going on between the fighters. It's going on between the fighters and the crowd. That's something that's really special. Whether I can sense the outcome of what the outcome of the fight, it's very difficult to say that. I can sense what fighters are going through. I can sense that maybe that they're confident or that they're not confident, or that they're getting tired, or that they're having doubts on their ability to make it through the contest. But I can never sense the outcome, because people grow and change. Like I just said, you know, people grow during a match, and someone who's going through a match and seeming unconfident or unsure about what's going on can possibly make a change right then and there in that match and start to do things that they did not know they are capable of doing. And that's the point of it, and that's what makes it exciting, and that's why people love it. One of the other reasons is because there's so many ways to win that it's very hard to pick out who's going to be the winner of an event. You ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it. Refereeing, I see myself refereeing as long as I'm physically able to get in there and do a good job. When I, you know, which will never happen, but if it does, if one day I, you know, get a little slower and where I feel that I'm missing a step to the point where I'm not able to keep the athletes safe, then it'll be time for me to move on to doing other roles in the sport. But I always want to be around the sport. I love being around the sport. It's you know, I love it. MMA, it's a special sport. It's the best sport. I just love it. I love doing my job. Also, I'm very passionate right now about the referee school. It's great. I get to share and show people about my job, and also to share my experiences and try to help people not end up in some of the pitfalls or have to learn the hard way some of the things I learned about it. And you know, it's a great group of people that I get to meet. I get to meet great people. It's a lot of fun. UFC, MMA is a mainstream sport. Yes, it is. MMA is mainstream, and how I feel about that is it's about time. It's deserved. I think this is the best sport on earth, and I believe that MMA is assuming its rightful place, and everybody involved in the sport is doing a great job. The fans are the most supportive fans. The fighters, the athletes, they fight so hard. They leave it all out there. The promotion, the people, the promoters and the companies that run this sport, very smart guys, very hard-working people, and As officials, we take our job seriously, and we know that without any rules, there is no sport. It would be a spectacle, and so we take our job seriously as well.